Do not attempt to adjust your speakers. The sounds that you're about to hear are various sounds that come from a human's mouth. So this is what we came with.
On theme with this episode, I have a picture to show you.
Why?
Look at that.
Oh my
I hope the
Lord.
viewers are going to be able to see
Why
this.
do I look? Oh my! Why is more of my body just my upper body? You need this photo when
Look
you're
at this.
editing it.
You show that to Carson. So
You'll see
one of our very own
if you're watching the video, you should see the
one of our very own employees, Mr. Austin Liz King, was having a little fun with the AI.
Oh my! God.
And one of those little starter packs, you know, those little things you look like a figurine in a box. He has got one for Ronald.
Style. The way he found the hat and the brim hat the same style.
It's good,
crazy.
right?
With the red boots is wild.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But it's a padel paddle than a pickleball paddle.
Alright, stop just shooting apart. It's great.
But
It's amazing.
that is so funny.
Amazing.
That does not look like you, but okay.
I just love the proportions.
Proportions are crazy.
This guy, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Carter gonna throw it up when we
Yeah,
talk
it'll be
about it.
great. Yeah, we gotta put that on the social media, see what people
Oh
think.
my God.
You'll know. You know, there'd be some big fans.
The red boots, the pickleball paddle, and the hat. Jesus.
Love it.
I don't need anything to roast me. It's just that those three are
More
enough.
fuel? Yeah, more fuel
just
for the fire.
perfectly enough. Welcome to episode number 32 of For the Record podcast. My name is Rhoni Joey, and here I have Mr. Jojo.
Okay, there is so you know how I'm getting a little bit lackluster on coffee.
I got so many of my names. Don't you worry, Jojo.
No, you don't. I'm pretty sure you.
Jojo Sims, like Jojo Siwa. But
Yeah,
Jojo
I think
Sims.
you maybe have to use that one already, but I don't know.
No, it happened,
You get
so.
better. We keep a list. I'm gonna expect no repetition. I'm gonna expect no repetition.
So,
this is good.
Mr. Jojo Sims here. Okay, what's going on with you?
Oh, I'm just riding the high from lip sync battle last week.
God. Yeah.
It was a good
That
old time.
was.
It was good.
It was right.
It was good. It was lots of work, but we, I think, put on a pretty good show, and it was my first time hosting, which was a bit of a different take on the day. So,
Yeah. Joey
It was
was bought his own rendition to Benson Boone's Grammy performance,
so
and I think it went really well.
they're, I think 50-50
Yeah.
of the people who have seen
Yeah.
my performance have also seen Benson Boone. So
Yeah.
some of them are like, wow. And like, but I'm not sure if people are more amazed if they haven't seen the
Yeah.
original or they have, but
If you haven't seen it,
Just
basically it was a take on the Grammy performance of Benson Boone. That was a recreation, is what he
Yeah.
did. Just a nice little rip-off pants and jacket, and then with
Didn't
the
have a
full-on costume.
tearaway suit didn't have that, but that's okay. It didn't have Heidi Klum. Nikki Glaser.
or Nikki Glaser to rip it off.
But you know, too bad. Kristen Nervous and Megan, Shopper's mom Megan.
Shopper's mom Megan, help
Or
you.
my, yeah.
Help you
Shopper's
rip it
mom
off.
Megan.
There you
What
go.
a real one. So that was really good. And hosting was interesting. So it's interesting to, you know, when you watch a show and the host changes, or like you watch like Price is Right, it's such, and then it's all of a sudden different, and people like, you know, it's rarely ever bad. Where like an actress or an actor changes, and it's rarely ever bad, but it's just different.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of how I
It's like-
felt.
It's like how Tonight shows switched hosts over the course of the year.
Yeah.
I went from Johnny Carson
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Jay Leno.
Like, Dave Tournier is an incredible host. Like, just the way he commands the room is amazing. And I don't know many people that can do it like he can. I purposely take a bit more of a casual, I don't know, perspective route in terms of emceeing.
Yeah.
And that's just something I partially try to do, but it also, I think, keeps me a little bit more nerve-free.
Yeah.
one of my biggest pet peeves in life is when you have like the people putting on the facade for their work or the business, or like I'll be talking to someone at like a dental office and they talk to me normally and they answer the phone. They'll be like, "Big Tooth Dental, can you please hold?" And it just changes. I'm like, "What the?" Or like
who are you?
Yeah, what? That's not real. That's not real. Or like a server. I'm like, if you talk to me in your server voice one more time, like just talk to me like I'm a friend.
Normal.
That'd be great. I would much prefer that, and I feel like people do prefer that to be spoken to, definitely more casual level. So I definitely was a different take to what Dave would do, but it was good.
There's a whole bit sketch on Loudermilk, if you've seen this show.
Okay, yeah.
Loudermilk, he walks into a coffee shop, and this girl has this Cali accent who's taking his coffee order, and he's like, "Why'd you talk like that?" I was like, "This is my voice, man." I was like,
"Why are you talking like that?"
"Why are you talking like that?"
"Because this is my voice."
"This is my voice."
"No, that's not your voice. Talk normally." He's like, "Bro, you're being rude right now. When you talk like this is the way I talk." It's like, "No, this is not you putting on an accent right now. Talk normally." And then he's just like back and forth, and then she, at one point she actually starts yelling at him, and then he goes, "There, that is your normal voice. Stop like that." It's like, was that hard? So
hard, yeah.
Wait, hold up. Before you guys get too far into these shenanigans we're about to talk about, here is a quick ad read. Everybody knows that the most important part of your party is the music and atmosphere. And us here at Trident, that is what we're ready to do. Whether it's your wedding social, whether it's your wedding, whether it's a staff party, whatever the function, we are here to be a part of your big day. Okay, all you need to do is contact us. You can do it however, but let's visit tridentmusic.ca, tridenteventgroup.ca, get in contact with us, and we want to be a part of your next party.
That was our, I think, what was it, 8th version of Lip Sync? I remember since 2016, I think it's been on.
No, I want to say probably more like 2017.
2017, yeah.
Because how many times pre-COVID was it? It honestly might have been 2018. Because were we working together?
No. The first one, I don't think we did.
I think, I wasn't with you at that point.
I think the second one we did.
Well, no, because the second year, it was definitely...
The second year was Pony Genuine.
Yes.
Which was you, me, Matt, and Igor.
Yeah, but the first one was you and Lori. And I was with James, because I was Shane. I think it was 2018.
Oh.
18, 19, 2-year break.
Yeah. 21, 22, 23, 24.
So, 25 now. So 6 years? It's only 6 years? Well, seems like more than that.
6
maybe 7?
6 versions of Lip Sync.
Yep.
And it's always been fun. We've been there since the very start, and for the past 2 years we took our production for that, so that's definitely a lot more fun. And it's a different level now because now we have camera crew sort of capturing everything. They get to see a couple angles that people sitting in one corner might not be able to, but with the screens they're able to see a couple different angles. So
yeah, it's pretty
always great.
And all that, and here we go. That night, I don't know, I'm feeling great. Help pack up. We were inside. I was inside probably since like 4.
Well, yeah.
And
or longer,
I think it was from 4, and then it was finally done about 10:30. Finally inside. Oh man, it's raining out. Crazy. Go home, drop off stuff at the office here. I head home, and my home is in the middle of a rushing river, and I got a whole bunch of water in my basement. So my weekend plans were switched.
Yeah.
And I was using the shop vac and pulling out the carpet. And my dogs were confused at all the strangers that were coming to my house all weekend trying to help me out and clean out my basement.
Jesus Christ.
Their living space is very, very different at the moment.
Yeah.
But
so what's the verdict on that? So carpet's out?
What's the verdict?
Yeah.
It was wet. That was Yep.
No, I figured that.
Yeah. We got the carpet out. Waiting for some quotes on some flooring. We got insurance doing that. I got to send a list of things to my insurance guy. I'll do that after this. What all belongings were.
Yeah.
In fact, they got to get a list of that. And yeah.
Yeah, he cleans up. He's home at like 10:45, 11, and the first thing we see in the Snapchat group is like, I have water in my bed. So I was like, holy shit.
Well, they were like talking about like people having like, hey, come over, hang out, whatever, or grabbing food.
So did you do anything that night, or like just started cleaning, like mopping?
I called Christine because she wasn't home.
Yeah.
and she was in Saskatoon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, so the water's in my basement. And she's like, why are you calling me? I'm like, well, because it's
Because
your
I
basement
have to
too.
update us.
And she's like, well, what am I gonna do? Like, call someone who's gonna help you. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get there.
This is me communicating.
Yeah, I'm just
and
communicating.
informing you, Christine.
Yeah, just like I'm like I just was more worried. Like, what do you want me to save? Like, I don't know how much more was coming in at that point.
Right.
I didn't know how much, like,
Where
where it was all
coming
going.
from.
Exactly. So I'm just like,
I'm
what do you
being
want me to
not
focus on?
not a handy person to understand all this.
Dude, not, and I'm not a handy person. So
Yeah.
I was just like, okay,
I
what do
get you. I'm right there.
What do I take with? And she's like, just worried about Xavier's stuff. So I started moving stuff off the ground, whatever. She calls her mom. Her mom comes over, and she calls me on the way. She's like, hey, you want to get? And I'm like, did you bring boots? Like, you have to walk through like a river to get to the house. Like, I'm like, you will be very soaked. So yeah, we were up till like 3 that morning, kind of dealing with that, and then got up and just kind of kept at her with my mom and all the people.
Did more water kept coming?
No, it kind of stopped at about that night, and
Yeah.
once it just kind of slowly went over. Like,
So
I
it was
checked.
basically the little sort of like canyon that created the water rushing in.
Well, that canyon, that was unrelated, so
Yeah.
it was like coming up through the basement, like through the like that was full. I went to like clear one of the big drains,
Yeah.
and I was like cleared all the debris off the top, and you know when you clear the debris, it's supposed to go down. It didn't. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Because it was full, like it was full of water. So I'm like, okay, so there's just so much water, it's just not being able to go anywhere. So it came up through the house. So yeah, so I went to bed like I think just before 3 maybe, and then got up at like 5:30 just to check if the water was going down, and the water was like way less. I'm like, okay, cool. So I went back to bed, slept like because I knew it was gonna have a big day, and then yeah, we just dried the whole place out, moved everything upstairs, walking in. Oh my Lord. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Fun
So now that we've got, so it's May long weekend's done. Hey?
Yeah.
Lip sync battle's done.
Yeah.
Gala is
Yeah,
done.
it's done.
Some of the big conferences, all those things.
Things are done.
What now, man?
Wedding season.
Grad season, wedding season.
Wedding season
It's
and
coming.
grad season. The guys are out filming our first, I guess, official summer wedding this past weekend, and that went well at Scotswood's Links. It's our first wedding there, but we've done a style shoot there before, so.
That was at
Sasha's
Elm Creek?
awesome.
Elm
Yeah,
Creek,
Elm
yeah.
Creek, and that place is gorgeous, and it's basically one big giant sort of living room kind of look, because it's got tall windows and like sort of cabin style windows around the place, but it's just a giant big and then like a living room and then just upstairs and whatnot. It's a really cool spot. We did a style shoot. We never got a chance to do a wedding, but Sasha recommended us to Maddie and Josiah, and then we got to go out there, and
Nice.
the guys went out there. It went really well, but that being said, we're into wedding weekend. We have a school dance here today.
We have school dance tonight, social, a couple more socials kind of
coming up. The
hanging on,
summer.
finishing
And I
off
think
May.
pretty much first week of June, full on weddings. Last week of June, last 2 weeks of June was just what is it, 12 grads or something like that. Then
Yeah.
we go through, and then along with some weddings as well.
It'd be great.
But
Great.
all the July weddings, August weddings, September weddings, October weddings. In the middle of also, I think we're gonna have to start planning for Ag Days here sometime in July, August. So that'll start happening for January. So, yeah, and then
Pumped.
back into September again.
Right into it.
So hockey season will come out right after. So yeah,
Lots
full of weddings,
happening.
but the next 3 months, it is wedding galore on our end
I love it.
for now. So
Well, that's cool. Update on our end. That's good. So our topic today won't be too in depth on like we could talk about weddings all day. We've talked enough about weddings. But the cool thing that has changed, unless you've been living under a rock, you're aware that there's this thing called AI, and it
Allen
has
Iverson,
this guy named AI, and he's changed.
crossover god.
He has changed the way we look at weddings.
There's an ad involving that same sort of play on words, AI, and guys, we need AI, and then they go look and talk to Allen Iverson's like, why do you need me? What am I gonna do here?
I saw that too. What was that?
Oh, it was a play on AI.
Well, yeah, I know. I can't remember what business or what thing it was for.
Yeah, I remember,
Anyways. Talk about our main facets being, I guess, say film. Let's just say stick to film and and music.
Yeah.
AI, what does it have the most positive and what are the most negative impacts on those areas of business? Like, what is it helping us with?
There's two ways I look at it. One, I look at it from a client perspective, and one, I look at it from a business perspective, right? So
Let's
if I
start
was a
with
client and
yeah.
I have this, again, the most common one that everybody knows now is ChatGPT, right? It's an app. If you don't have the app, what are you doing? Like, it's the most,
I don't have the app.
like, honestly, the most useful app you could ever have.
Don't have the app.
Right now, I think that's what's taken over the most part. What definitely helps with it is you get to ask a question in detailed manner and get precise or close
It's
to
a lot more
precise
specific,
answer,
right?
right? And then the answer is what helps you sort of make decisions and move on. From a client perspective, it's going to change here in the next bit. Right now, it's not the same, but in the next little while, it's going to change. I was listening to a podcast yesterday or the day before, the vendor table, and they were talking about how people are searching for what they want in great detail. For example, this bride started searching for, I need a photographer that can shoot this style in this kind of locations, and wanted to be with 8 wedding party members and be able to do yada 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 yada. So she gave ChatGPT the whole list of what she wants and said, find them in this state, right? And ChatGPT literally took all that, gave them one answer. This is who you need. And they looked at the Instagram account and she's like, yeah. And then they booked the photographer that way. And in my mind it goes, wow, it saved you so much time in terms of finding a vendor because you knew exactly what you wanted, right? And they were able to explain to ChatGPT, put in the prompt and say, this is what I want, and it'll spit out exactly what it was. Now, from a photographer, who is also a business perspective, they had to have a brand that sort of touched on all of those things, right? That the client wanted. The client wanted bright and airy photos shot in Utah and did this and did that, can deal with bigger wedding parties and bigger crowds and whatever. So the photographer had to have had that experience, put out content in terms of the website or reels or whatever, where ChatGPT can sort of look through and go, okay, out of all the things I've looked at, this person sort of checks off so many boxes that this person needs. Let me connect them both.
Yeah.
So that's how that worked. And I look at it from a planning perspective. Imagine if you knew exactly what you wanted. How many times have we talked in this podcast about it comes down to what you want? And now knowing exactly what you want and putting that into ChatGPT will give you this perfect, precise answer that might 90% check off whatever you need.
Yeah.
Right? So I think from a client perspective, the planning part and choosing vendor part and it's going to be a lot faster and a lot easier. And it's going to connect you to the right person if the right person has put in the effort to being seen as this is who I am, right?
Yeah.
So it
puts businesses in a situation where you want to make sure your identity is very known.
100%, and your authenticity of who you are, right?
Yeah.
And of who you are as a person is very visible and very out there. So ChatGPT can do that math and help the person.
ChatGPT, I would like a DJ who's got curly hair, has a mustache, and talks more than he should.
And can backflip once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while, occasionally, not on demand.
And is willing to rip off his pants whenever he needs to.
Whenever he needs to. That's an impartial. Whenever he needs to is a very general. Wedding is probably a time where I don't need to. If I'm being honest.
So I think that's sort of from a surface area. I think it will save so much time if you're planning a wedding to a client, right?
Okay.
And
as a business, though,
from a business perspective,
is it similar but just in different ways? So
I think
things are faster.
It's more efficient. It's more about trying to get to efficiency on our end of how we deliver to our clients, right? So a couple examples I look at it is, okay, so if we're trying to get to, checklists are great things, and questionnaires are a great thing, where we send out to clients to make sure it's all filled out and the right thing is done. So now, I look at a wedding and I know how many questions to ask, what all questions to ask and get everything done, but I'm not sure if everything is in there. All of my questions are answered. So I upload the document and go, hey, this is the client, this is where the wedding's happening, this is how the wedding is happening, this is the service we're doing. Are these all the questions I need, or do you think I need more questions that I'm not thinking about or I don't know about? And then analyze, spits out in 28 seconds, hey, you need to ask this question, this question, this question that's not in there. But other than that, everything is great. End of story. Now I've covered all my bases of what I need to cover, and at the same time, the client gets the best experience possible that way as well. That's one example, and several things we do internally has so much of AI. Like, for example, if we're trying to think about our copy for newsletters or a website, if we can't think about the words that we want to sort of express what we are and who we are clearly, there's ChatGPT to help. Right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm told now with because we use Google Workspace and Google Emails, we get Gemini, which is basically Google's version of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
All our team have access to Gemini, and that's the pro level, which they would have to pay $20 a month for. Everybody gets it because through their work email. So you can download it, have a pro version of pretty much ChatGPT on your phone, which I do have now too. And now everybody is able to ask it a question, get an answer. For example, if Carson needs to edit something and he's stuck on something that he doesn't know about, he's just like, how do I do this in DaVinci 20? Answer right there, spits out. Or if you need to watch a video, there's a source button. Click on it, it's right there. Before, you'd have to type into Google, go through 7 different links, read through 7 different articles, make your own assumption of what that could be, and then apply it, and then that takes time. Now it's just right there.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I use Gemini on mine more than I use Google. Like, which is crazy to me. Hours, if I want to go, Ted Good Music hours, answer. I don't have to search, I don't have to hit nothing. It's just right there.
Great.
So it's the speed at what you get answers. Is it accurate 100% of the time? No, but 98% of the time it is.
Yeah.
And for what we need, it's perfect. Because Gemini is Google's, Google has all your data on every business and everything you need. They just import that into Gemini and it has the answers. So that's that part. From a music perspective.
Yeah, we touched on this because we did like kind of the evolution of DJ.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, it affects it in some ways less. I would say we use it probably less, because we've talked about this in past episodes, like to try to have the technology replicate what we can do with our personality on the day of an event. But I'd say from a client standpoint, like it's pretty awesome for what like just Spotify DJ and stuff can do.
100%.
Like,
And even from our perspective, the way I look at it now too, okay, the client gives us a Spotify playlist of 30 songs that they like. We can run it through AI, go, give me songs, anything that's adjacent or similar to these songs, give me another 40 more songs. And there could be a list of playlists right there for us that is similar to it, but we might not have thought about, or
yes.
might not work on the same level.
so crazy.
So
We just
crazy.
go, oh, that song.
Yes.
Like we've played a lot of songs. We've heard a lot of songs, and it just sometimes becomes a wash.
Sometimes what would work really close to this playlist, you wouldn't know, but you can think about it absolutely, but it'll give you the answer so fast, right? I think that's where that is. From a con perspective, I don't know. I look at it as it still is, even though it feels like it is sort of grown miles. Like
It's still in its
it's
infancy.
very much in an infancy stage right now, and I feel like it will only get mature and more. From a general standpoint, I feel like at least Google was, where you could still activate your curiosity muscle and sort of dive deep and learn stuff.
Explore.
But now I think it's
more information at your fingertips.
More information at your fingertips that doesn't necessarily let you remember or do the work to learn. It's just, if you don't know something, type in, it's there. It's almost like wanting to use a calculator for 2 times 2, right? It just feels like at some point we're going to get there where we're not going to remember anything, but we're going to rely on it so much. And that it's going to happen. Like, I'm looking at kids these days graduating, middle school and high school, they're going to grow up with it. And, when you get to college and when you get to everything else, they're not doing Wikipedia, they're not doing Google, they're not doing scholarship research in libraries. They're just going to ChatGPT and asking for an answer, right?
So what do you think from an education standpoint? Is it our job? I don't want to say as educators in our field. We're not necessarily educators, but in whether it be the education system in general, whether it be us like teaching people and working with people, is it our job to go with the times and kind of adjust what we do, or is there a necessity in staying honest to to what's original? I guess the big argument I've heard is they're like, oh, they're taking cursive out of schools. They're not teaching them cursive, and I'm like, okay, I get it.
What was the last time you put pen to paper? Required people to learn cursive.
So that's the problem. It should be stop people from learning how to write. No, there's certain things that are really good for brain development. There's so much research on that kind of stuff. But as much as I think having cursive is a great skill, that time might be better used to educate these kids on the way the world is going, how to properly, I know enough about technology that I can help my grandmother in any situation, but what you guys know in terms of computers, for everybody to know that, to be able to confidently whip through hard drive processors, I don't know what a RAM is other than a truck, but apparently computers got RAMs in there. I don't know.
I look at it from several different angles, but to answer or what are we teaching the kids, and I think first of all, teaching kids cursive was stupid just to begin with. Why don't we teach financial literacy? Why don't we teach every other thing that's available, right? People make a big deal of something that was not even that important. We're not in the 1800s where we're writing handwritten telegrams, right? It's not the same. But there's so much more that we should be teaching. But on the flip side, I'm I think there has to be a way. There has to be a way to combine the both. Again, there are educators and smarter people than us here who will figure it out. But not us. But in the sense of how can we include this technology that's sort of blowing up in this space and education in a more productive way, rather than make it a crutch for students to rely on at all times to do anything in school, right? People had a problem with calculators and exams, and then we moved on from there, and then they figured out, okay, calculators for certain amounts of things, no calculator for a certain amount of things. I think they will figure it out, it'll get there. Mm-hmm. But answering your question on are we supposed to stay true or adapt, I am 100% believer in terms of change is the only thing that's constant. So you have to learn to change and adapt as things are happening, rather than holding on to and waiting. Yes, holding on to certain things, like the true form of arts and then the craft and those things will still matter. The idea of that and the skill and the talent still matters, but it always is only going to help you to be multifaceted and be able to learn a few things to help you hone the skill or the talent or the art or whatever you have. And I think you have to adapt, and without that you are going to be left behind, even though it feels like, oh, it's going to be a few years. I'm yeah, but it will compound. By the time you think, okay, maybe I should learn it, you're already 3 years behind.
Well, that's why a lot of people in our world are rewarded for being what they call forward thinkers, right? They're
visionaries and understanding it.
Visionaries. Wow, I see the future. I see the future.
Yeah, but I generally think people need to have a pulse on it and not feel like and this one more sort of ticks me off is people go, oh no, I'm never gonna use that. Oh no, I'm never gonna do that. I'm at least know what's happening. If you're gonna have that mindset towards them, oh no, it's never gonna affect me. Not now, not tomorrow, not a year from now, but I promise you, 2 to 3 years from now, it's gonna be knocking at your door asking you to get out of the house. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So something in our job that will never change is late night snacking. We are experts here. Try to innovate snacking on the job. Not mid events. I'm not DJing.
Not while on the microphone. There's a go.
Sometimes I do that though. It's funny. I'll pause thing and to announce that late lunch is happening. I'll just be eating a ham bunwich in the mic. But no, not straight up like that. Man, ain't nothing better at 11 o'clock at a social than a ham bun with some mustard, pickles, Guys, back corner. We got late lunch happening. Head over that direction. If you want to go hang out there, that's fine. But I prefer you hang out here with this song by request. Let's go, girls.
Let's go, girls.
Something of the sort.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so what we have done, we as a Trident team have compounded 8 fantastic potato chip flavors. Okay, and we are going to.
Oh, we gotta put a poll up.
Well, not for each individual. We're gonna have a little bit of like a bracket style here, and we're going to decide. We're not going to say who's matched to each of these, but this person, I don't know, will get some sort of a bonus, some sort of prep wonderfulness for picking the best chip in the group. So we have a bracket. Our first up, we have what a classic salt and vinegar chips.
No.
Versus sweet chili heat Doritos.
I'll take that. I've never had sweet chili heat Doritos, but I'll take it over salt and vinegar because I have had salt and vinegar.
You've never had
And-
sweet Ronnie, I just professed us as professional snack eaters, and you have not had sweet chili heat Doritos.
I might have, but again,
Well, they clearly weren't that memorable.
Yes.
Okay, well, Carson might have. We got Carson here as a tiebreaker, in case. But sweet chili heat versus salt and vinegar. You aren't a salt and vinegar chip fan?
Hell no.
Why is that?
I genuinely don't like the taste of salt and vinegar. It is horrible. Like, I can't stand it. Like, first chip in my mouth, I'm like, this chip does never.
The more he talks, the more viewers we're gonna lose.
This chip never should exist. I'm sorry. It's one of those flavors that shouldn't exist but exists.
All right. I'm glad you apologized.
Never.
Okay. Well, sweet chili heat Doritos. Yeah, I don't know. Both of them are stellar. If I was like to bring, here's the thing. If I was to bring chips to a party, I would not bring sweet chili heat. I would bring salt and vinegar.
I will basically tell you to walk out the door and leave. How dare you?
Hey Joey, want to come over to a party? Yeah, just grab some snacks. I come with you.
No.
You are uninvited.
Hi.
Uninvited.
I am sorry. I'd rather you show up with nothing than salt and vinegar.
That's
how much I do not
show
like
up
salt.
there full nude at your house for a party. Sorry, I didn't bring any snacks.
That's fine. I am the snack. I'll take it.
Whoa! Sweet God! All right.
I'll take it over salt and vinegar.
Okay. So if I'm trying to please a crowd, I'm bringing salt and vinegar. If I'm trying to please myself, sweet chili heat. Okay, well, I think we got sweet chili heat as the winner.
Okay, moving up.
Here. Next up, we have original Pringles versus dill pickle.
Oh, original Pringles.
Really?
Pringles.
Okay.
Yeah. Easy.
Some of dill pickle really gets me going, but there is something about the shape of a Pringle. The Pringle can need some work.
Perfect.
But
Pringle can needs work.
Pretty good.
What do you mean?
The
It's the
Pringle
most
can?
efficient chips bag out there. No air.
Doesn't get
It's solid.
okay, from
and
a protection
it perfectly
standpoint.
keeps the shape.
Yeah,
chips and shit.
Yeah, at the bottom though, you're getting
Okay.
trying to get their last quarter.
So you understand how gravity works? You take the can, you tilt it, and the chips comes to your hand.
Well, I understand that's how it works, but that's still. I don't know. I just want to grab. Like if I'm snacking, and I don't have to ever turn a chip bag. I can just do this. I just eat it like that. But now I have. That was a great reenactment. Thank you. I'll be here every Thursday. Pringles, something about that. So hey, do you do concave or convex against the tongue? You know, everybody's the ones.
Oof,
You know,
I don't know what concave or convex would be, but
Concave. Does it curve towards your tongue like this, or does it go up? This would be like this.
Yeah.
wait,
You go down, so like it goes
I
around.
had one yesterday.
Wait,
we have
no.
Pringles cans in the office.
I go against the grain. I have
Okay,
going
so
up.
wait. The Pringles chips. wait. I don't need to know. The chips is
Here,
slaying like this.
Pretend my hands is a Pringle.
Yeah, just like that. Like take it out of the can and then.
Okay, so I go against the grain here.
No.
'Cause the other way has a little bit more salt on it. So that one, you're right, fits better around the tongue, greater mouthfeel.
Yeah.
The other way, worse mouthfeel because it's going up towards the roof of your mouth, but more flavoring on the tongue. But I think
never
our
seen
ingredients. Well, you gotta try it next time.
Original Pringles all the way.
Pringles win. Next up, we have Fiesta tortilla chips. So this is like a salty, sweet, spicy tortilla. It's like
Tortilla.
It's like chips and salsa without the salsa. Okay, versus ketchup chips. Specifically, very listed here, Old Dutch. So, I don't know if I want to like corner ketchup chips into being just Old Dutch, but ketchup versus
Old Dutch ketchup is definitely better than Lay's ketchup. I'll tell you that much. So
I agree. There are some people who do not agree.
Ketchup chips is a Canadian invention.
Yep.
So I will go with
And Fiesta is not. No. Can't handle that. No.
No south of the border here.
Yeah, exactly. They got a tariff those Fiesta chips. They do that. No, we're staying.
Actually, no, the Mexicans are better. The
Mexicans are better than Canadians.
100%. Sorry, I meant Mexicans are better than Americans. So.
All right. So
we don't have American oil.
On that note, Canadian shit. We got all dressed versus classic barbecue.
Oh, all dressed every day, all day, every day.
Rob, this is gonna be tight. Okay, so I do love all dressed chips. I like all dressed chips. I like all dressed Ruffles.
100%. The goat of all chips.
I would take if you had all dressed regular chips and barbecue regular chips, I probably would pick barbecue.
No.
If you had made it all of a sudden a Ruffles, then I'm going
Okay.
So-
I'll take it. Ruffles, all dressed, the goat of all chips.
Okay, but that doesn't mean it's moving on just because it's Ruffles. This is just we're talking about the flavor here.
Fuck.
So I don't know. There's
So we're not. Okay, we talked about Pringles chip original.
Well, Pringles is different.
Over.
Pringles is different. Okay, well, just original flavor. No one's picking original chips.
Actually, original chips Lay's is better.
No, then what?
Pringles.
What?
Yeah. Original Lay's is better than Pringles.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
God, well then who did?
Because you didn't have when we talked about comparison, you didn't have Pringles original versus Lay's original. You had something else.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie here. There is a certain someone who submitted Pringles as their favorite chip that's in this room. When I said Pringles chips,
Yes, it is. But we were comparing it to other chips that was already entered.
Yes, you could have picked original. If you are here, you're sitting here, and I asked, "Hey, Ronnie, what's your favorite chip?" You gave me your third favorite.
No, yes, it is my third favorite. Ruffles all dressed first. Original Lay's second. Pringles third.
Gosh.
Okay, we go on.
What do we become when a man asks another man for his favorite chip flavor and he gives him his third favorite? What is the world coming to? Okay, well, just to spite the heck out of you, we're putting barbecue up there. Okay, so barbecue's winning. Okay.
Oh God.
Carson, can you back me on that one? Just because that was some ridiculous childish behavior.
Oh my.
I'll take it.
Okay, so our semifinals, we have barbecue, ketchup, we have Pringles, and sweet chili heat Doritos. Pringles versus sweet chili heat Doritos.
Pringles.
We're trying to basically the non-potato, because Pringles aren't potatoes, are they?
No.
Does anybody know what?
I think it's some sort of paper.
I don't know what starch Pringles are. Okay, Pringles versus sweet chili heat Doritos.
Honestly, I never want to know how Pringles are made, because if I do, I would never eat them. So I will never want to know.
Yeah, okay.
Is it?
I'll tell you right now.
Because it's not potato, I'll tell you that much.
I'll tell you right now, sweet chili heat Doritos win every time.
No way.
You haven't had them. You can't argue. I have a feeling I know where this is going to.
If I liked them, I would have had them. If I've never liked them,
we're gonna have some. We're gonna have some media someday where it's just us filming your favorite, your first time having sweet chili chips.
Since we're doing this, we're gonna compare blind rank water, just different brands of water.
What and
Dasani to Fiji to Smart to different ones, to see which water's better, and then blind rank soda, like pop, Coke, Diet Coke,
Blind
Coke
ranking?
Zero.
So we're doing
Pepsi.
blind rankings again, but okay.
Hey,
Well,
we'll actually set up a table here.
barbecue versus ketchup.
Barbecue.
Yeah. Barbecue.
Okay, well, I was gonna say ketchup, but barbecue's winning.
Yeah.
It's 2 versus 1. Okay, so barbecue chips versus sweet chili heat Doritos.
Barbecue.
So this is crazy because Ronnie's frustrated because barbecue's gonna win here, and potentially. I know you're a sweet chili heat guy though,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Gosh, well, hey, how we don't have a definitive finish
Okay,
here?
how about we won't have a definitive finish, and we'll wait for a new chips. We'll do bring the chips in, and then we'll taste it.
Okay, and we'll get I was just gonna say we get the viewers to give their.
Okay,
votes.
so in the comments, please let us know if you like
This guy was
sweet
going
chili
for-
Doritos or Old Dutch barbecue.
No, sweet chili heat versus barbecue. I don't know if you
Barbecue,
if you
Old Dutch barbecue.
Old Dutch barbecue. Okay,
Yes.
well we can go seriously. We don't watch your no
Carter, Carter's
no input. Carter came in late. He can't have an opinion on his chips. What late night snack do you want us to rank next? Like and subscribe, everybody. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to do nuggets, chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets are a great late night snack, by the way. But chicken nuggets are different from McDonald's to Burger King to Wendy's.
Of course.
Wildly different.
Yes,
chicken
of course.
nuggets.
When we show up late enough home after events, that only one of those places is open.
That is true. Well, yes, McDonald's.
So, and I'm pretty sure if you had enough of an argument, you started, whether with fists or with words, we started fighting over nuggets. I can tell you right now, McDonald's is winning.
Oh, heck no.
Burger King.
Burger King all the way.
All day.
It's gonna.
Have you not had Burger King nuggets?
I sure have. If you put 100 people in a room,
I can tell you people are gonna love Burger King nuggets.
If
over.
you put 100 people in a
Alright,
room,
blindfolded.
McDonald's
You know
is
what?
gonna win.
We're gonna do a blind ranking, and I will bring
We are
chicken
slowly.
nuggets
I should have
from
brought up snacks.
Burger King,
We're a wedding
McDonald's,
podcast that is going
and
in a
Wendy's,
very different direction.
and we're gonna blind rank them, and you tell me what you like. I swear to God, you're gonna pick Burger King every time.
I see. The problem is I'm going to be able to identify it blindfolded. I know exactly which one is which.
No, you're not. If you don't know Burger King is better than McDonald's, you have no idea what you're gonna pick.
Okay, well, if I'm going to Burger King, I'm getting chicken. I'm getting chicken fries, my man.
Okay.
We're talking about something that's available widely in different stores in different formats, just like chips.
Joey's unique way of saying coffee. You guys want to fight me on coffee? You want to just start
No.
throwing fists?
No.
No, you don't. Okay.
Talking about coffee, I got an event that I need to talk about. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Do you want to start the next episode with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start the next episode with.
But
talking
by the
about
time
coffee.
next episode comes out, the first event would have already happened. So we got to do a prelude to it now
Well,
and
let-
talk about it next.
You want to just film a separate thing for that?
I wouldn't need to actually.
People have already tuned out. They heard us fighting about barbecue chips. They didn't want. They didn't. watch
Okay,
the
if you
end.
stayed here after the barbecue chips, just say, "I was here." In the comments.
We don't have enough viewers for this accomplishment.
I looked at it today morning. It was like 118 viewers.
118 viewers.
So,
How many of the
hey.
118 are actually going to respond? Who knows?
Yeah, none of you respond. Just please, just type a letter in the comments if you're listening on Spotify, if you're watching on YouTube.
Joe's unique way of saying coffee. Last stop before church. You're heading church. The amount of people I see come in late for church, like, yeah, sorry I was late, and they just got coffee in their hand. I'm like,
No.
you.
Carter, do you get coffee before church?
Every church has a coffee bar.
That's the craziest
But
part.
they
Every
do-
church, but people still
Everyone
go.
buys coffee before church. They don't want the church's coffee.
Church offers free coffee. They got free music,
I will take
free
I
love
will
of
take
Jesus,
all
and
the
free coffee.
spirituality and wisdom that the church provides me, but not the coffee.
No way.
The coffee ground.
Maybe it has the same reputation as church juice.
Oh,
do you know the legend of church
no.
juice? Churches are notorious, youth groups, children's church, for diluting back like Kool-Aid. So it's like juice, like fruit punch for everybody, right? So you just put in, like, it says, okay, 1 packet per 2 liters.
Yeah.
They'll put 3 liters of water. See how this juice? You're like, ah.
At McDermott, they buy the communion in bulk, so the communion is like 3 years old. The juice in it. Yeah.
My
You
God.
can like see the stuff at the bottom. It's so small of portions, it doesn't matter. But,
Oh. Yo.
Exactly.
Never.
They need to start having communion more often. Yeah, weekly communion. We need to catch up. The biggest complaint about church is the lack of freshness of that bread. I love it. I love
This
it.
is stale ass bread. Oh my God.
Thanks for watching, listening, whatever the heck you do.
Subscribe, follow. We'd love to have more followers, please.